On the evening of March 13, 1997, thousands of people in the American state of Arizona saw something strange in the sky. Many described it as a series of bright lights, or even a huge, silent flying object that passed slowly over the city of Phoenix and surrounding areas. This event became known as the Phoenix Lights and remains one of the most famous UFO, unidentified flying object sightings in modern history. Even today, people still debate what really happened that night. Was it a secret military test, natural lights, or something not from this world? The first reports started coming in around 7:30 p.m. that Thursday night. People in the small town of Henderson, Nevada, which lies just northwest of Arizona, saw a strange formation of lights moving across the sky. One witness described them as 6 bright lights arranged in a V shape. They seemed to move silently and slowly toward the southeast, in the direction of Arizona. As the lights moved across the border into Arizona, more and more people noticed them. Calls began flooding local police stations, news channels, and even the Luke Air Force Base near Phoenix. Witnesses described a variety of shapes. Some saw a triangle, others saw a boomerang, and a few said it looked like a giant craft blocking out the stars as it moved overhead. The reports varied, but they shared key similarities. Most people said the lights were arranged in a V or triangular formation. They were a warm amber or orange color, glowing steadily rather than blinking like airplane lights. The formation moved slowly and silently, unlike normal aircraft that make engine noise. Many witnesses said the object seemed enormous. Some claimed it was as big as several football fields across. In some areas, people said the object passed directly overhead, making it feel like a massive, dark structure moving above them. One family sitting outside in their backyard in the city of Prescott said it looked like the stars disappeared behind it, as though a solid body was blocking the night sky. Some people even said the lights seemed to hover, then slowly move away, while others thought they were part of separate objects moving together in formation. The variety of accounts made it difficult for authorities to agree on what exactly people saw. Around 10 p.m., the lights reached the city of Phoenix, the capital of Arizona. Thousands of people witnessed the spectacle as it moved silently over the city. Drivers pulled over on highways, families came out of their homes, and people called friends to step outside and look. One of the most famous witnesses was Dr. Lynn Kitei, a physician who lived in Phoenix, and later became a strong advocate for investigating the event. She captured several videos of the lights from her home and spent years collecting eyewitness reports. Her footage showed a series of bright orbs lined up in a row over the city, slowly fading one by one. Another witness, former Arizona Governor Fife Symington, admitted years later that he too had seen the lights that night. At the time, he publicly dismissed the incident, even joking about it in a press conference. But years later, he confessed that he had seen a massive delta-shaped craft that made no sound and seemed otherworldly. His later statements gave new weight to the accounts of thousands of ordinary people. Soon after the event, the U.S. military offered an explanation. They said the lights were flares dropped by A-10 Warthog aircraft during a training exercise at the Barry M. Goldwater Range, a large military area southwest of Phoenix. According to this explanation, the planes had released slow-falling illumination flares around 10 p.m., which drifted down slowly and appeared as glowing orbs in the sky. This explanation matched some parts of the event, especially the stationary lights seen around 10 p.m. But it didn't explain the earlier moving lights that had traveled across the state, starting at 7:30 p.m. The military said they had no flights in that area earlier in the evening, which left the earlier sightings unexplained. For many, the flare theory seemed too convenient. People insisted that the lights they saw were not flares, but a single, structured craft. They said the lights maintained a fixed formation, did not flicker like flares, and traveled smoothly over miles of distance without falling. At first, local news outlets treated the reports lightly. They covered the story, but often with a humorous tone, suggesting it might be UFO hysteria or people mistaking planes for something mysterious. However, as more credible witnesses came forward, including police officers, pilots, and even government officials, the media began to take it more seriously. TV channels showed home videos of the lights, and newspapers printed front-page stories about the mysterious lights over Phoenix. The event quickly gained national attention. Reporters from major networks like CNN and NBC traveled to Arizona to cover the story. For weeks, talk shows and newspapers discussed theories ranging from secret military experiments to alien spacecraft. A few days after the incident, Arizona Governor Fife Symington held a press conference to address the growing public concern. Many residents wanted answers and felt that the government was hiding something. However, Symington surprised everyone by making a joke out of the situation. During the conference, he said his staff had found who was responsible and then brought a man on stage dressed in a rubber alien costume. The audience laughed, but many witnesses felt insulted. They believed something serious had happened and thought the governor was mocking them. Years later, in 2007, Symington admitted that he had also seen the lights and was deeply impressed by them. He said that at the time, he tried to calm the public and avoid panic, but he personally believed that the object he saw was not from this Earth. His confession renewed public interest in the Phoenix lights and gave credibility to those who believed it was something extraordinary. Over the years, scientists, astronomers, and skeptics have tried to explain the Phoenix lights in more ordinary terms. The later 10 p.m. lights were most likely military flares, as confirmed by radar data and similar training exercises conducted at the Goldwater Range. The flares were visible from Phoenix because of clear weather and the high altitude at which they were released. They appeared to hover in formation because they were drifting slowly behind the mountains west of the city. The earlier lights, which moved across the state, were likely small aircraft flying in formation or possibly military planes flying without standard navigation lights. Some researchers suggested that the angle and distance of the lights made them appear connected, creating the illusion of one giant craft. However, skeptics could not explain why so many witnesses, some of them trained observers like pilots, insisted they saw a solid structure. Others pointed out that the radar at Phoenix Sky Harbor Airport reportedly did not detect any large object that night, which argued against the idea of a massive craft. The lack of clear physical evidence, no photos showing structure, no radar data, and no recovered material meant that the scientific community remained cautious. Most scientists accepted the flare and aircraft explanations while still acknowledging that eyewitness testimony can be unreliable, especially at night and at long distances. Despite the official explanations, the Phoenix lights continued to fascinate people. Every year on March 13th, local groups and UFO enthusiasts gather in Arizona to commemorate the event. Documentaries, books, and TV shows have been produced about it, each offering new theories and interviews with witnesses. Dr. Lynn Kitty published a book and documentary titled The Phoenix Lights, A Skeptic's Discovery That We Are Not Alone, in which she presented her video footage and argued that the event showed signs of intelligent design. She became one of the leading voices calling for an open investigation into UFOs, or as they are now officially called, UAPs, unidentified aerial phenomena. The Phoenix lights also helped change how the public and the government talk about such events. In recent years, especially after 2017, the U.S. government has begun releasing official reports about unexplained aerial phenomena. This new openness has made many people revisit older cases like the Phoenix lights with fresh eyes. For many of those who saw the lights, the event remains one of the most unforgettable experiences of their lives. Some say it changed the way they view the universe. People describe standing in silence, staring up at the sky, feeling both awe and fear. One man from Mesa, Arizona, said he felt as if something enormous and alive was gliding silently above us. A mother in Scottsdale described how her children cried because they thought a giant spaceship was landing. Others said the experience was peaceful, even spiritual, as if they were witnessing something far beyond human technology. These personal stories have kept the mystery alive for decades, even though there may be rational explanations for those who were there. The Phoenix Lights remain an unsolved and deeply emotional mystery. The Phoenix Lights incident became a turning point in UFO history. It was one of the first times that such a large number of people from different towns and backgrounds reported the same thing over several hours. Unlike earlier UFO cases that relied on a few witnesses, this event involved thousands of people and multiple videos from different angles. The event also encouraged local and national authorities to take UFO reports more seriously. It showed that these sightings could involve credible observers and that laughing them off could damage public trust. Some researchers believe the Phoenix Lights played a role in the U.S. military's later decision to be more transparent about unexplained aerial sightings. In the 2000s and 2010s, new analyses of the original video footage and flight data continued to appear. Computer simulations suggested that the stationary lights seen over Phoenix could indeed match military flares, while others noted that no radar tracks supported the idea of a massive flying object. However, advanced photo analysis of some footage suggested that the lights might have been too steady and uniform for flares. Supporters of the UFO theory point out that witnesses saw two separate events that night: the moving V-shaped formation and the stationary lights, and that the government only explained one of them. In recent years, with the rise of drone technology, some have suggested that the lights might have been experimental or classified drones being tested by the military. But since no official documents have been released, this remains speculation. The truth about the Phoenix Lights probably lies somewhere between science and mystery. The later stationary lights were almost certainly military flares, as supported by timing, radar, and the military's own records. But the earlier moving formation, seen by hundreds across Arizona, remains unexplained. Whether it was a formation of aircraft, an illusion caused by perspective, or something truly extraordinary. The Phoenix Lights left a lasting mark on everyone who saw them. It reminded people that the sky above us still holds mysteries, and that sometimes, even in a world full of technology and science, there are moments that make us look up and wonder. More than 2 decades later, the Phoenix Lights remain one of the most documented and widely witnessed UFO events in history. For believers, it was proof that we are not alone. For skeptics, it was an example of how easily humans can be amazed and confused by the unknown. Either way, that March night in 1997 showed how one mysterious event could bring an entire state together, gazing upward as the sky over Arizona came alive.